Hi everyone, welcome to episode 71 of Annijuuti Knits. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Annijuuti Knits. My name is Anniina and I am a knitter and a knitwear designer based in Finland. And this is a channel where I share everything that I knit and everything that I design. So if you're new here, welcome aboard. If you are returning, warm welcome back. Let's get started. Today I have two finished objects. I have a almost nearly finished object from last time, and then I have a surprise finished object because I only talked about this briefly last time. So let's see how this goes. I had to change my viewfinder to that side because I don't know, it was bugging me because I couldn't see. So first things first. I finished my Suovilla scarf and here it is. You can see the shawl version on the wall again, and this is now the tiny version, the scarf version. As you can see, it's not massive. It's the perfect little scarf. You can wrap it around your neck once or twice, depending on the amount of meat around your neck. I was just taking a little clip to Instagram, and maybe I'll put it here or this side. And I was like, this is exactly the size that I would imagine a small scarf would be. This is like 100 centimeters long, so like 40 inches. And well, I'm not the slimmest of the people, and I was trying to, graciously wrap it around my neck, and I was like, oh my god, it doesn't really, well, if you are a person like me, maybe you want to make it a little bit longer. But this is the perfect tiny little scarf version or size. And I know that these tiny little scarves are having a moment amongst us knitters. So I wanted to include the measurements and the repeat amounts for a small version as well. So the original one is having like a contrast border, but because this was so small, I didn't want to add another color, and I actually bound off with the main color. I didn't aggressively block it, so the I-cord is rolling a bit. And also I was so hard trying not to make it too tight. I think I made it a little bit too loose. So it's kind of bending up a little bit, but you can straighten it when you put it on. So Suovilla scarf and shawl is a pattern of mine. It's already in testing. It has been a couple of weeks now, and the pattern will release on the, I want to say 10th of July. I will be releasing this pattern for the Jyväskylä Knit Festival because my friend Anna, she is the dyer behind Lanka Studio Suovilla. The original sample is made using her yarn, and this is an ode to Finnish wool, and I wanted to make a pattern for her because she is now going to be selling. No, she is, well, yes, she is selling there. She's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? She has her shop there. I'm losing my words. Anyway, you get the drill. She was selected to be one of the vendors at Jyväskylä Knit Festival, and it's her first big event. And I wanted to honor her work. I wanted to support my friend, so I made this Suovilla shawl, and it is using Suovilla Riite yarn, which is her her yarn, but the second sample is made using leftovers. I had the Fiber Go Ample, which is a little bit thicker fingering weight sock yarn that I had leftovers from 2 sock projects that I did last year, and they are now being used in this shawl. It's nice and drapey because of the alpaca content, and yeah, it's warm, it's soft, it's beautiful, and this texture is what makes this shawl or scarf Suovilla, because Suovilla is it's this plant that this little fur ball, I forgot the name already, I checked it last time, but anyways, here's a little close-up of the texture. It's beautiful, and I finished mine. This little shawl scarf took around 75 grams maybe, so it doesn't really take a lot of yarn. I think I used 55 grams of the main and 20 grams of the contrast color, but yeah, I am struggling today. I don't know why. My family went to my older son's football practice. My husband took both boys, and also our my stepdaughter. She is now here for a couple of weeks because she already finished school, and it was, you know, as a family with little kids, when you try to get them out of the door, it's kind of a hassle. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit flustered because of that. I'm also a little bit hot. I was trying to take those clips for the shawls, and our apartment has been quite warm since the summer has been fully here. It's crazy because the summer came overnight. We had snow, and then the next week we had 27 degrees. So there was no spring for us. The summer came very suddenly, and it has been over 20 most days this week, and we don't have air conditioning, so that's that. But I'm trying to manage. Oh, I didn't mention what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Plant Lady tee. I also took a little clip. Here you go, because I don't want to stand up and disturb my setting or setup. And yeah, this is a summer tee. I think I did it 2 years ago already, maybe. It's made with Knitting for Olive pure silk. I love this yarn. I love this fabric, and it has been my most worn summer knit. I love that it's fingering weight. The silk is very drapey, and I just absolutely love it. I don't like this color, at least. It has not pilled. I don't find it being like someone says, or someone said just recently that it looks kind of worn, even though it's fairly new. But I don't find that it has pilled. Maybe it also depends on the colors. I don't know about that, but I love this, and I wanted to wear mine today because yellow. This is a pattern by Agatha Makiewicz, which is Amanita Knits. I will link her pattern in the description, and I will also be linking other things when or what I remember. So you are feel free to have a look what I write there. I'm not the best of making notes, but I try my best. So let's get into my second finished object. I showed you the yarn last time, and if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen the full product. And this is now, I have named it the Kuusamo sweater, because we went to Kuusamo, and this was my travel knit, and I almost finished the body while we were traveling, and then last week I did the sleeves. This is a sweater for kids. This was a sweater for my son, or it is for my son. And I used Novita Woolly Wood, which is one of my favorite workhorse yarns. It's a very beautiful mixture of tencel and merino, and it holds up so well. And I've done several kids sweaters out of this. It doesn't itch, it's very soft, and it holds up super well. So it's a perfect yarn for kids sweaters. It's very drapey, and I just wanted to do something simple, something basic. I talked about making the same texture than in this shawl, but let me tell you, it's fun texture worked flat. It's not fun texture worked more with like a more dense gauge and worked in the round. So I did maybe, I think I did 2 or 3 textured bands, and then I was like, okay, I don't like the look of it. It's the density made the bubbles like sink in. They didn't stay on top of the fabric, and also I really didn't like the process of it. So I switched. I simply did some ripping and slip stitches. This is, by the way, not blocked, so if it has some stiffness still, it's because I haven't had the time to block it. But so this happened over a weekend almost, and then the sleeves took me a week to make. I did magic loop the sleeves because I find that I don't lose steam when I do both at the same time, even though I don't really enjoy the process. But I made like one stripe a day for both sleeves, so it ended up being just fine as it was. And I have actually now written this pattern up because I want to make another one. I want to make another for my older son, and my stepdaughter asked if she could have like a cardigan version of it. I was like, sure. So there will be a cardigan as well, but for the time being, it's written up. I will send it to my tech editor tomorrow, and it will have sizes from 1 year to 12 years old. So there will be 7 different sizes: 1 to 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, and 11 to 12. And those are, of course, sizes that are just, the range of age is just a suggestion because kids are different. And I made this for our, he is currently 4, he's turning 5 in the fall, and this is the 5 to 6 years old, and our 6-year-old who is, this was quite fine for him as well. I think after blocking, the sleeves are also long enough, but I will make the next size up, so the 7 to 8. He's going to be 7 years old in January, so I will make the next size up for him. Yeah, Kuusamo sweater. Very not innovative at all. I just named it after the place we were staying. And yeah, I really love this. I think it's beautiful, simple. There are some similar sweaters out there, but this is my sweater, and yeah, I love it and hope you love it too. I will show you quickly my acquisition because it has everything to do with that sweater. My older son, we went to the supermarket together, and I gave him options to choose from the cotton merino by drops. Whoop. The sun is really bright and it's coming from this side, so I'm facing the window, and if there are shadows, I'm sorry. So he got to choose between this and the Novita Woolly Wood, and he chose this because this is softer. The cotton merino is a little bit softer to the touch than this is, but that's okay. It's the same same thickness. It's a DK weight yarn, and he chose this beautiful dusty blue, and I think they match pretty well together. And my stepdaughter chose this dusty light green, but we haven't bought it yet. There is one very beautiful like corally color of the Novita Woolly Wood that would look amazing on her. So I don't know, maybe I'll convince her to choose that instead. And also like a lilac or a lavender color. But that was my Kuusamo sweater. If you are interested in testing it for me, I always send out my test calls through my newsletter. It's also linked down in the description. So if you are interested in testing me at any point, I really highly recommend you to put your name on the list, because that's the place where you get to hear about it first, and if there are sizes available or left after the newsletter subscribers have applied, then I will put it on Instagram. But last few times I haven't posted on internet on internet. I haven't posted on Instagram because I have managed to fill up the test knits through the newsletter. So there is that. Do you know the feeling when the sweat is dripping down your neck and you just would like to pull up your hair? That's the feeling. So I will have a little drink. Next up is my Lotus Lake Pullover. This is also something that I was working while we were traveling. My husband was driving most of the time, so I had plenty of time to knit while we were driving. And this is how it looks now. So the stitch marker here is where I was last time. I had done the back, and then I made this much progress on the front. I have then joined in the round, and I have now done all the decreases under the arm. It's blowing out a little bit. This is more like the true color that this yarn is. It looks more, well actually it looks fine. It pretty much looks exactly how it is. This is also Novita Woolly Wood, and this is a Lotus Lake Pullover pattern. It's based on my Lotus Lake tee, except it has long sleeves, and I did change the neck to an I-cord. I think it's nice and neat. So I haven't done a huge amount, but I have done nice progress, and last night I did manage to finish the arm decreases. So this is a drop shoulder sweater, much like this, except that this is completely straight, and my Lotus Lake Pullover has these decreases under the arm so that you get a little bit better fit without like a bagginess. This is now thinner fabric, so it's fine, but for this little bit heavier fabric, I think it's nice that it tapers down the arm holes or under the arms a little bit. Now I have just a bit of stockinette, and then I will start the interesting part, which is the lace, and then I will get to the sleeves. I was hoping to release this on September, but I don't know if I will have the time to do that, so we'll see. Basically, I don't expect a lot of, problems with this test knit because the lace and the numbers are the same, except I have changed the neckline and changed the sleeve because I have added a long sleeve. So I might just do like a partial test knit, which could be then a little bit shorter, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and then maybe I could get it out for September. I don't know. But that is Lotus Lake Tea, the pullover version, and I don't have much to say about it because I haven't really done too much exciting things for it. Okay, I have been feeling a little overwhelmed lately because if you don't know, I am a optical salesperson 4 days a week, and then I'm a knitwear designer for the rest of the week, and that means that I am working 30 hours a week, and then I have 2 children that are living at home, and then I have 1 stepdaughter who is on and off whenever. So there's a lot of work. My husband was away for 2 weeks almost. He went from Monday to Friday for 2 weeks. He came home for the weekend in between, but I've been dealing with all the household stuff and taking the kids, and my mother-in-law has been picking them up because I've been working, and it's been a lot of, you know, juggling with the family. And I have I have one more secret project going on, which I have now applied to testers for, and it's a lot of pressure. My friend Rebecca said that, girl, you really love pressure, don't you? And well, I work well in pressure, but sometimes it gets a little tiring. And those last 2 weeks have been exactly that. I have worked my day job. I have worked at home as a mom and a dad and a chauffeur and a, you know, caregiver and nurse and everything. And when the kids go to bed, I've been working on my design work, and I got a little bit tired. So I needed a project that didn't feel like I was working. And if you know me at all, you know my go-to relaxation is socks, because knitting socks, it doesn't feel like work. Don't get me wrong, I love working on new patterns and new designs, but sometimes I need, now the sun just, I don't know what happened to the lighting, but we'll see. I love knitting, I love working on my designs, but I sometimes need something that it doesn't feel like work, and sock knitting doesn't. So my son was a little bit sick this week. Thursday, Friday, so I had to take 2 days off from work because he had fever and I had to stay home with him. So I grabbed my jar of little nuggets leftovers. I'll put a picture here or here of the nuggets, and these are, I mean, they are really like small bits and bobs. Like the smallest are not more than a gram, so they are like teeny tiny. Oh, look at my nails. I had them done yesterday and they are like this pastel-y marble. So pretty, so pretty. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, I took all these little nuggets and leftovers that I had. I have now a bag full of them still because I'm weirdo and I need to match my... There's also like self-striping bits and bobs. So they are, I talk about tiniest leftovers, like 1 gram. This was 1 gram, this orange stripe. So it gave me 3 rounds. So yeah, I started the scrappiest of scrappy socks. I call them the ugliest striped socks or scrappy socks because hello. They are a little bit ugly, but I don't care. I've had this idea for ages, and I took now all the woolier leftovers. Some of them were already once been knit, and some of it was like noodles, but I do love like using up everything. I try to recycle as much as I can. I often buy my kids' clothes from secondhand markets. I get some hand-me-downs. I fix them. I just had a picture on my Instagram a couple of days ago where I was like, there's like 6 pairs of like these, what do you call them? Like, not train, no. Like, not joggers, but you know, these relaxed pants that kids wear, that are like this jersey pants and holes on the knees. Like all the pairs had holes in the knees, and some of them I just cut off and made it into shorts. Some of them I fixed. So I try to be, you know, mindful of my, you know, material usage. And I wanted to use that as well, that idea or that way of thinking into my knitting. So I've done these zero waste sweaters where I marl all the little bits and bobs together, and these are now the tiniest little things, and I think it's a good way to use up your leftovers. So this is a sock for my husband. It's European size 43. And I just used up everything. And I'm really happy that I did. I did a little reel yesterday about how this is kind of fun, and then you have all the ends. But then again, that's part of the job, and I don't really mind it too much. When I'm doing toe-up socks, my preferred method is to do the fleagle heel because it gives room for the arch and it fits nicely. And then I did go up 4 stitches for the ribbing, so that sometimes toe-up socks can be a little bit tight around the ankle. So I increased 4 stitches here to give it more room, and I did the tubular bind off for this. I think it's fun, and because I'm weird, I have exactly the same amounts for the second sock, so I'm not gonna do random stripes. It was random for the first time, and the second one I'm just gonna follow this. I'm just gonna follow the same routine. I do my joggler stripes with slipping, not slipping. I knit together the row below with the new yarn when I have finished one round, and I feel like it gives me a nice, well, there is a little bit of a jog, and some colors like this one was just so tiny that it looks a bit wonky here. I think I wove the ends a little bit badly, but it is kind of nice. And a viewer of mine asked how I weave my ends. If I'm feeling lazy, I'll just weave the ends in, like I did in my advent socks last year. I just did the weaving Steven technique while I was changing into new color. But this time I wanted to, because they are so scrappy, I just wanted to weave in the ends afterwards and close any gaps that might appear. So here's how I do it. I usually make sure that I jump over the gap because they are not connected. So I will make sure that I close the gap and then I go the other direction. I like to go like a little bit diagonally so that when you are wearing the socks, I find that it goes or it stays a bit better even if you would do it like up and down straight. So I usually go a little bit diagonally. It's not pretty, but it's not ugly either. And I find that this gives a nice, even if I'm stretching it, they are not going anywhere. So yeah, I just do it randomly. There's no right or wrong in weaving ends, but if you are cutting the yarn often, then I recommend you to jump over that little gap and then go the other way, back the other way, because that's the way to tighten the gap between. And while we are in the topic of zero waste and like environmental stuff, I have a question for you. I want to hear your opinion about this matter, because this is something that I'm struggling with. Consumption, like it is a difficult thing, and buying yarn is also a thing that's, you know, people are talking about it a lot. And before I was aiming to be like a full-time knitwear designer, I have accumulated a lot of yarn. I have some yarns that are not available anymore. They have been discontinued. And my question is, how do you feel? As a knitwear designer, it's hard to then do a project and then use yarn you can't get anymore. But the little green person in me wants to use everything that I have here. So I want to ask, what do you think about a designer using yarn that doesn't exist anymore? If they give alternatives, if they give substitutes, if they name some similar yarns, would it be okay to use up the things that I already have? Or do you think it's better for me to sell them or give them away? Or because nowadays I don't really get that time. I don't have the luxury of just knitting for fun and for whatever I want, because, you know, if I want to do this as a job, I really need to be focusing on the patterns that I put out. So I have like 6 or 7 sweaters quantities of yarn that doesn't really exist anymore. So I want to hear your opinion about this matter. How do you feel about using yarn that doesn't exist anymore if you are given substitutes? I know that older patterns often use something that doesn't really, it's not available anymore, so I don't feel like it's the most huge deal, but I know it's not ideal to have something that it's no longer available, but also I would really love to use the materials that I already have and not just buy new ones, because even though it's for the job, I don't know. Yeah, that's a thing that I've been struggling with, because it kind of, buying new yarn when I have good yarn at home, it kind of clashes with the ideas that I have. So there is that. I hope I wasn't boring you to death. Socks. We were talking about socks. Socks are my projects for relaxation and for fun. So I have been doing stripy socks. I had the stripy socks knit along, which has now ended, and the prizes have been given out, and I was meant to do these socks for the knit along. I only managed to do one stripy pair, but I didn't have the time. Now I have been, on the other hand, doing some stripy sock knitting. So I finished one sock tube. This is a tube without a heel. I will cut in an afterthought heel. I have done the cuff, the toe, and everything in between. I had a 50-gram ball of this stripy yarn. This is Eldorian's self-striping, and they come in 50-gram balls. So I used up nearly all of it. I had 4 stripes left. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are now in this sock. This is a BFL base, and it worked with the woolier yarns. I measured my socks, and I don't like a very tall sock because I have wide calves. I have very narrow ankles and then wide calves, so I can't wear tall socks because they don't fit on me. So I calculated rows. I think this will be my leg, and then the heel comes from this part. So the red stripe is where the foot starts. And I have now done the second sock as well until here. And what a fun travel project this has been. It's my handbag knitting. I've been working it at work. Yesterday we went to watch a football game, or soccer game, it's football. We went to see a game here locally, and I took this with me and worked on them a little bit. So that's what I'm doing now, and they will go back into my handbag because there's just mindless tube knitting still, and then the toe, and then I will cut in the heels. So yeah, I've been enjoying sock knitting again, and it has been my relaxation knitting and my mindless projects that are not work. So they are, they are just for funsies. That's not a good word. I heard myself saying it and it just didn't sound right. But yeah, I'm getting very hot. One more project that I just started for fun. And then I have one little swatch, and I will talk about a project. Now I dropped the swatch. Where did it go? There. All right. So, if you have been here for a while, you may know that I applied to test for the Talulahti for Herbgarden Knitwear Hannah, and I failed miserably. I didn't succeed. That was because I chose the wrong yarn. I had bought this eucalyptus yarn, which is a blend of 97% eucalyptus fiber and 3% other wood fibers. It's this kind of yarn, and it's super soft. It feels much like bamboo, like a whole lot of like bamboo, but the gauge wasn't good for the Talulahti. It felt too dense. It felt like it didn't drape at all. So this now looks a little bit messy and crazy, but we need to wear black at work. I have told it a million times, 1,000,001 maybe. And I thought that now that I have this yarn, I wanted to have like a net type of fabric, so very loose and drapey fabric, because this yarn is very drapey. So I started this sweater. I'll pop it over because I just put it on the cords and cables because I needed to see how it actually fits. and it fits well. So I did this little kind of like saddle shoulder, and then like this, it goes into the sleeve. It's not on properly, but anyway. I'm using 7mm needles, I think, 7, yes. And I'm not following any pattern, any instructions. I haven't made any notes because I was tired. I didn't want to work. I just wanted to knit for the fun of it. And so I started. I started without a plan. I cast on a random amount of stitches, and this is what it's looking like at the moment. I did my neckline with 4.5mm needles because it was really loose. I wanted to have structure here on the neckline so it doesn't, you know, drape and flare out. I'm really happy about how it fits. I'm now going to continue increasing for the sleeves and keeping the front and the back as they are. I've never done this kind of construction before. I kind of like it. Is this like the contiguous method, or I don't know what it is called. It's kind of a saddle shoulder, but it's not because you increase. I don't know what it's called. I don't care because this is just for fun. It's a sweater that I want to make for work, like this stripy, oversized, nice, flowy sweater with this eucalyptus yarn, which feels like bamboo. And so far, I like it. And you might think like, wow, she's knitting up with a lot of black yarn, but now it's the time of the year when there's light all day, all night. Midsummer is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. Let's say it's in 2 weeks. And you know, that's the time when the sun doesn't set. So we have very, very long days. It's completely bright when we get up, when we go to bed, and during the night even. So now it's the time to knit black, because now you can actually see, even if I am knitting late in the evening, like after 10 o'clock, it's still bright as it is in the day. So that's why the black. And that's also a yarn that I wanted to get out of my stash, because I was planning to make the Talula tee with that yarn, and I thought that now I would use it up and have something nice to wear for work. But I really love the Talula tee. It's already been published. It's beautiful. I still love it. And Hannah is now hosting a knit along with Knitted by Whitney, and I will link both of their channels down in the description. They have the HGKT knit along, Cal. I don't know if I got it right, but basically it's a 3-month-long knit along, and you can make any of Hannah's tee patterns. And now I'm making the Talula tee, and here is my huge swatch. This is a khaki green cotton and acrylic blend. I don't really get a lot of wear out of my t-shirts, and I really wanted to make something, or make this with some like kind of cotton. And I bumped into this in a supermarket, and I was like, this could work. This is, like I said, 50-50 cotton and acrylic, and it's extremely soft. And this is washed, it's very drapey. And this is the yarn. I think the color is fantastic. It's like this khaki green. And this cost less than €2 a ball. So I think it was well suited for for the t-shirt, and I wanted to give it a try. If I like it, I might use it again. So this could be good for kids' clothes or something that you need to wash a lot. So I'm curious to see how it goes, and I am starting my Tadula tea once I free up some space from the needles. I have some deadline knits which I need to get a move on with, so that will go at some point, but the knit along ends until, or it goes until the end of August, so I have plenty of time to do the tea in this window. So those are my plans. The life stuff came intertwined again. I'm getting super hot, and also I need to go and prepare some lunch for the family, because they are coming back in half an hour. So I think the duty calls. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I will appreciate all the comments you leave me. I will read them all. Not the best of answering them all, but I always read everything that you leave, and it's been so encouraging and so fun to read all the comments, so thank you for that. Until next time, I will see you in a couple of weeks, and happy knitting. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. Bye now.